Dear students, welcome to another video tutorial on programming concept using C. And today's topic is loops in C programming. Okay. Myself Niladji Shekhar Pal. I am working as an assistant professor at Computer Science and Engineering Department at Bhutar Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. The college is under GIS and the college is situated at Baroda. Now, what are loops in C? Loops are basically used to repeat a block of code. Programming languages provides various control structures that allows for more complicated execution. A loop statement allows us to execute a statement or group of statements multiple times. Loop control statements in C are used to perform looping operations until the given conditions is true. A loop basically executes the sequence of statements many times until the stated condition becomes false. A loop basically consists of two parts, a body of a loop and a control statement. Okay? The control statement is basically a combination of some conditions that direct the body of the loop to execute until the specified condition becomes false. The purpose of the loop is to repeat the same code a number of times. So why will we use loop? The looping simplifies the complex problems into easy ones. It enables us to alter the flow of the program so that instead of writing the same code again and again, we can repeat the same code for a finite number of times. For example, if we need to print the first 10 natural numbers, then instead of using the printf statement 10 times, we can print inside a loop which runs up to 10 iterations. Now, what are the advantages of loops in C? It basically provides code reusability. Using loops, we do not need to write the same code again and again. Okay. Using loops, we can traverse over the elements of data structures like arrays or linked lists. Now come, what are the different types of loops? Basically, depending upon the position of a control statement in a program, a loop is classified basically two parts. One is entry control loop, another one is exit control loop. Okay. In an entry control loop, a condition is checked before executing the body of a loop. It is also called as a pre-checking loop. And another one is exit controlled loop. A condition is checked after executing the body of a loop. It also called as a post-checking loop. Okay. So basically, apart from this, there are basically three types. Okay. Another is for loop. Next one is while loop, and the third one is do while loop. Among these, for and while is the entry control loop. Okay. And do while is the exit control loop. Okay. So the control conditions must be well defined and specified, otherwise the loop will execute an infinite number of times. The loop that does not stop executing and processes the statements number of times is called as infinite loop. An infinite loop is also called as an endless loop. Okay. So following are some characteristics of an infinite loop. Number one is no termination condition is specified. The next one is the specified condition never met. The specified control basically or condition determines whether to execute the loop body or not. Okay. So let's discuss the for loop. Okay, so this is the syntax for the for loop. Okay, as you can see that at the beginning there is an initialization. Okay, initialization means that the from where the loop will start. After that test expression means up to which the expression will continue. And the last part is the update statement. Update statement means after each iteration, what will be the next value of the loop. Okay. So the initial statement is executed only once, then the test expression is evaluated. If the test expression is evaluated to false, the for loop is terminated. However, if the test expression is evaluated to true, statements inside the body of for loop are executed and the update expression is updated. Again, the text expression is evaluated. This process goes on until the text expression is false. When the text expression is false, the loop terminates. Okay, so basically a for loop is a more efficient loop structure in C programming. Okay, the initial value of the loop, as you can see that the for loop is performed only once. Okay, the condition is a Boolean expression that tests and compares the counter to a fixed value after each iteration, stopping the for loop when false is returned. The increment and decrement increases the counter by a set value. Okay, so these are the flowchart for the for loop. Okay, so as you can see that this is the initial expression. Okay, so if this condition there is suppose I the value of I is 0. Okay, so the expression is being tested here. If it is true, then it will go to the loop body, and after executing the part loop body, it will update the expression. Okay, but if the expression is false, then it will not enter here. Okay, so if it is false, then loop body will not execute and update expression will not be happen. Okay, it will come to outside the for loop. Okay, so there is an expression. Sorry, initially there is an expression. Okay, so if the expression is initialized, after that it is been tested. If the test is false, then it will go to the outside the for loop, and if the test expression is true, then the loop body will be executed and the value of expression will be updated. So now we'll do a C program to print first n numbers using for loop. Suppose the value of n is 15. Okay, so we have to print all the values from 0 to 15. Okay, so let's do the C program. So this is the C editor. Okay, we will open a new C source file. Okay, so we'll write our C program here. So what is the program? The program is C program to print all numbers up to n. Okay, so the value of n will be user defined. Okay, so I'm starting the program. At first, we will take hash include stdio.h. Okay, this is the standard input output header file. Okay, basically printf, scanf, these are the library function. Okay, these functions are included within this stdio.h. Okay, so next we will take kanaya.h. This is the console input output. Okay, kanaya.h. Okay, kanaya.h. Okay, next we will take the main function int main. Okay, any C program will start executing from this main statement. Okay, any C program must contain a single main function. Okay, so we'll take the variables that is n and I. Okay, so we'll take the value of n. So print it slash n. Okay, this is the new slash n is the new line character. Okay, if we give the slash n, then it will print from the next line. Okay, so enter the value of n, enter the value of n. Okay, so we'll take the value of n, next scanning, percentage d, comma, 1%. Okay, so the value of n has been taken. Okay, so now we will print all the values from 0 to n. Okay. So for that we will take a for loop. Okay. So we have to print all the values from 0 to n. Okay. So we will initialize the loop from 0 and it will continue up to n, and every time the value will be incremented by 1 as we need. Suppose the first value is 0, after that the value required, that is 1. Okay, so 0 plus 1 is 1, so it is incremented by 1. Next we require 2, so from 1 to 2 it was also incremented by 1. Okay, so this is the for loop. And first I have to take the initialization, that is the value of I is 0. Okay, so the I will be continue up to equals to n. Okay, next I plus plus. Okay, so we will print the values of I. Okay, percentage d comma I. Okay, so first save the program, then I will discuss the program. Okay, so I am saving it in the desktop. This is its file, sum of n numbers. Sorry, print up to n. Okay, that's it. Let's execute the program. Okay. So suppose the value of n is 5. Okay, so there is an error. Okay, so let's check what is the error. Okay, mistake will be here. Okay, so let's save the program. Okay, so checking error is very vital. Okay, you may type wrong. Okay, but after executing that will give an error. Okay, to find the error is very important. So I'm again executing. Suppose the value of n is 5. As you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all the values have been printed. Okay, so let's discuss the program. As you can see, the at first we have taken the value of n. Okay, suppose the value of n is 5. Okay, as you can see that the for loop, the value of I is started from 0. Okay, so now the value of I is 0. Okay, so it is less than n. Okay, so this condition satisfied. If this condition satisfied, it will come to this line. Okay, so it will now print the value of I. So now the value of I is 0. Okay, so it will print 0. Okay, so after that the value of I will be incremented. Now the value of I is 1. 1 is less than 5. Okay, so it will again print 1. Okay, and after that the value of I will be 2. Okay, 2 is also less than n, that is 5. Okay, so 2 will be printed. Next the value of I will be 3. 3 is also less than 5. Okay, so 3 will be printed. Okay, so like this, so that the value of I will be 4. Okay, so 4 is less than 5. Okay, so this condition will satisfy. This condition will satisfy. Okay, so 4 will be printed. Next, after that, the value of I will be 5. Okay, so this condition satisfied, I less than equal to n. Okay, so 5 will be printed. Next, the value of I will be 6. Okay, then this condition will not satisfy. That is, 6 is not equal less than equals to 5. Okay, so it will not print and it will come to the outside of the for loop. Okay, so this is how the program executes. Okay, I think you have understood how to do it. Okay, so this was the program to print the first n numbers using for loop. Okay, so as you can see, that selection of a loop is always a tough task for a programmer. To select a loop, do the following steps. Analyze the problem and check whether it requires a pretest or pretest loop. If pretest is required, use a while or a for loop. If, if post-test is required, use a do while. Okay. So next we will do another C program. It will print the sum of first n numbers using for loop. In our previous program, we have just printed the first n numbers, but in this program, we will also print the sum of all the numbers. Suppose we want to print we the value of n is 5, okay? So it will print 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 0. So the answer will be 9, 5 plus 4, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 12 plus 2, 14 plus 1, 15, okay? So it will print 15 if the value of n is 5. So let's do the program. So this is the C editor, okay? So the program is sum of first n numbers, okay? So C program, to print sum of first n number. Okay, so this is first I will take hash include stbr.h. Okay, this is the standard input output. Okay, this is basically a header file. Next we will take onaya.h. This is console input output. Next we will take int main. This is the main function. Okay, every C program must contain a main function. Okay, so we will take the variables in suppose n, I and sum. Okay, we have to initialize the value of sum as 0. Okay, next print it slash n, enter the value of n. Okay, enter the value of n, scan it, percentage d, ampersand n. Okay. Next we will do the for loop. Okay. For I equals to 0, I less than equals to n, I plus plus. Okay, so sum equals to sum plus I. Okay. After the for loop, we will print it. Print it. The result is percentage d, comma sum. Okay. So now we will save the program and run it, and after that I will discuss the program. Okay. This is compile and run. Suppose the 5, as you can see, the answer is 15. Okay. So let's this 15 means 5 plus 4 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12, 12 plus 2 is 14, 14 plus 1 is 15. Okay, so let's discuss the program. Okay, so the value of n has been taken through keyboard using this scanner. Okay, then for loop. So the first value of I is 0. Okay, so at first the value of sum is initialized as 0. Okay, so I is 0, which is less than equals to 5. Okay, so sum will be sum plus I. So previous sum was 0 and the value of I is 0. So sum is 0 plus 0, that is 0. Okay. Next the value of I will be 1. Okay. So I is less than equals to n, that is 5. So sum will be previous sum was 0. Okay. So new sum will be sum plus I, value of I is 1. Okay. So the 0 plus 1 is 1. So now the value of sum is 1. Okay. Next the value of I will be 2. 2 is also less than n, that is 5. So the sum will be sum plus I. Okay. So the previous sum was 1 and new I is 2. So the new sum will be 3. Okay. So after that the value of I will be 3. Okay. And which is less than equals to n, that is 5. So the new sum will be 3 plus 3, that is 6. Okay. After that the value of I will be 4. 4 is also less than equals to 5. Okay. So some new sum will be previous sum, that is 6 plus I, that is 4, that is 10. Okay. New sum will be 10. And after that the value of I will be 5 from 4. Okay, 5 is also less than equals to n, that is 5. Okay, so the new sum will be previous sum, that is 10 plus value of I, that is 5. So new sum will be 15. After that the value of I will be 6. But 6 is not less than equals to n, that is 5. So it will not execute. Okay. So the complete summation has completed. Okay, so outside of the for loop we will print this sum, value of sum. Okay. If we type this statement inside the for loop, okay, so there will be 5 printf statements. Okay, so every loop there will be a printf. Okay, at first the result will be 0, after that the result is 1, after that the result is 3. Okay, so each time it will print. Okay, but that is was not our concern. We will need all these values once. Okay, that is why I have printed, write the print statement outside the for loop. Okay, so this was the program to print the sum of first n numbers. Okay, so in our first two program, in the first program we have did all the C program. Okay, our first C program to find all the n numbers. Okay, to print the first n numbers. Okay, and in the next part we have find the sum of that first n numbers. Okay, now we'll do only the even numbers. Okay, up to n. Then suppose the value of n is 5. Okay, so within 5 the even numbers are 2 and 4. Okay, so only 2 and 4 will be printed. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so the program is C program to print even numbers. Okay, up to n. So first we'll take hash include stdio.h. Next hash include Sonaya.h. Okay, these are to the header file. stdio.h is basically the standard input output and Fonaya.h basically the console input output. Okay, next we will take int main. Okay, this is basically the main function. Every C program must contain a int main. Okay, basically all the main function. Okay, will be executed from this main function. Okay, so we'll take the variables int in then I. Okay, so printf slash n enter the value of n system percentage d comma ampersand n. Okay, so next we'll take the for loop for I equals to 0. Okay, so always remember that it will start from 1. Why? Because 0 is not an even or odd number. Okay, so I less than equals to n I plus n. Okay, so suppose the value of I is 1. We have to check whether 1 is even or odd. Okay, for that we will mod the value of I by 2. Okay, if it is divisible by 2, then it is an even number. If it is not divisible by 2, then it is not an even number. Okay, so there will be a if loop. If the value of I is divisible by 2, okay, then we can say that printf slash n, the value of I will be printed. Okay, so if it is divisible by 2, then the value will be of I will be printed. Okay. So the value of, suppose the value of n is 7 or 8. Okay. So at first the value of I is 1. So okay, it is less than equals to 8. So I mod 2, that is 1 mod 2 is not 0. Okay, so it will not print it. Next the value of I will be 2. So 2 mod 2 is 0. So 2 will be printed. Next the value of I will be 3. Okay, so 3 mod 2 is not 0. Okay, so 3 will not be printed. Next 4 mod 2 is 0. The value of 4 will be printed. Next 5 mod 2 is not 0. So 5 will not be printed. Next 6 mod 2 is 0. So 6 will be printed. 7 mod 2 is not 0. So 7 will not be printed. 8 mod 2 is 0. Okay, so it will be, the value of 8 will be printed. After that, the value of I will be 9. Okay, when the value will be 9, this condition will not satisfy. Okay, if this condition will not satisfy, then it will come to the outside the for loop. Okay, so let's save the program and check it. Okay, so suppose 8. Okay, as you can see, these are the even numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, so I hope you have understood how to do it. Okay, this was the program to find out all the even numbers up to n. So in this program, we will find the factorial of a number using for loop. Factorial means suppose the value of 5, n is 5. Okay. So we will print 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. So we will print the factorial of a number. Okay. So let's do it. This was the program to find the factorial of a number using for loop. Okay. So hope you have understood why we need the for loop and what are the how to use it. Okay. So if you have any doubt, any query, any problem, you can write on the comment section. Okay. Or if you have liked my videos, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can visit www.facebook.com/digital classroom Niladji, and there you will get all the details of my video tutorial. Okay. So students, thank you for now. See you in the next video tutorial.